Are live.
Live, baby.
We are live, baby. What's
Live, we
up?
live.
Hello, hello.
Don't you even try. We
Hello,
live.
people.
We are live. What's up?
We live, baby. Make sure y'all share this from your
What's
personal
going
pages.
on?
Oh, okay. We'll
And
do.
it's
We'll
public.
do.
It's public, so y'all can share. Let me
Awesome.
just make sure. Hold up. Let me make sure it's
That's what's
public,
up.
so you can share it on IG. Hey y'all.
What's up?
I'm so happy to be here. Like I'm in my house, but I'm really happy to be here.
It's nice to be
In
here
this
too.
moment.
Thanks
Definitely.
for the invitation. I keep saying I keep getting invited back. That must mean
I
good
know,
things.
right? We promise.
Listen,
I
Yeah.
don't want to overstay my welcome though. So we're gonna have to.
this is the part that y'all keep on accepting. I keep on you keep on inviting you back. I'm like, oh, they want to come back.
Right.
Heck yeah.
You know what? I just want to thank y'all. Y'all don't know. You really, really don't know. I don't want to say I didn't have a clue of who, but I was literally praying about who with episodes.
Right.
And every time I asked, I was like, Lord, you sure? You sure? I'm like, they say no, right? Even Am, it took me a long time, which Am doesn't know, a very long time to ask her to be on the show. And she knew
Right.
she
Yeah.
Why?
I think past experience and
Mm,
just not wanting to be disappointed. Everybody doesn't, though they may
Mm.
see your vision of certain things, everybody doesn't want to participate. People, want to participate
Right.
sometimes later on when they get to see what you see.
Right.
But
Right.
Yeah.
before you can really see what I was seeing and what I was in the direction I was going and what I wanted to do, yeah, I was like, you know,
That's shocking to me though, Deb, because I remember when you had a vision for your initial podcast. I encouraged you. I was like, yeah, do it. Go for it.
no, but yeah, but encouragement and being a part of it. I also here's the thing, and you got to think about this, right? I also have um, privilege to watch what you do in the back end. You know what I'm saying?
Mm,
And
true.
not the Instagram side, the mom
Yeah.
side, the business side, and I
Yeah.
just know what your schedule looks like, right? So it's like asking what is an hour of your time is still like to get there to Burberry Studios to be able to. You know what I'm saying? Like be there.
Mhm.
I was like, not that I didn't think you would participate, but just to, I didn't want me to make people feel like, oh, I'm committed to this, right?
Right.
Yeah.
And
But
then
I think it takes honesty though, right? And we talk about being honest a lot and
mhm.
being up front. One thing I told you from the beginning is I probably can't commit to being a part of it every week, but I'm here for you. I'm your cheerleader, I'm your encourager. Anywhere that I can accommodate you and be available to you, that's what I'm here to do because it's only right because you do so much for me effortlessly without me telling you, like you're just it's just only right, and that's what we mean when we talk about reciprocation, right?
Right. Right.
I
Yeah.
totally get that, but it definitely was a tough area for all. And Tamara the same, no different, right? I know Tamara being, a wife, being, in her position at work, everything that she does for other people, just kind of, taking people's time. And again, Q, I don't know intricately, but I know what I see. I know he's a dad. I know he's a husband. Like I'm just,
Yeah.
mindful of all of that. And I was like, ain't gonna be like this weird girl.
No, I was like,
Nah.
ask him. He ain't gonna say
I,
no.
And
yeah. I jumped for it. I jumped for it.
you know,
Heck yeah.
I knew
It
from
was
the
no
start.
hesitation. I was
I
like,
was
yeah, let's
like,
do it.
I want him on the show for real. Like, I definitely want him to come on, and I so want the male perspective because that's what the exchange is. It's not just a woman's thing; it's a life thing, and
Right.
that's
Yeah.
and getting a better
That's the
understanding.
beauty of it.
Exactly. like us getting a better understanding of one another. And for me, these first 5 episodes, by the way, it was our 1 month anniversary on the third.
Already?
I'll post to that. I'll post to your 1 month
Oh,
anniversary. We celebrate
We
you. We
toasting, huh?
see great
I ain't know
things
we
We
was
for
do
you,
that.
toasting.
and we're here.
cheers.
We're here for
I don't
this.
have any libation. I'm sorry, but
No
I'm with
You
water?
it.
got
I'm
wine
with
in
No
the
it.
room.
water?
Give us a
Nah,
fountain.
it's that's I got you right there. I don't have any libation. I literally stopped training the person and ran right over. Like that's how it went.
Oh, right.
Oh,
That's how this
Wow.
goes.
that's
Yeah.
dedication, man.
See,
Nah,
That's
but
I'm with it,
here's
man.
the
I'm with
thing.
it. Debs,
You
this is a
know,
beautiful thing.
it is Q. And I was just about to say that,
Yeah.
that is indicative. Q running from here and there just to show up for this. Like people who care
Right.
about you, love you, you know what I mean? They support you, they will show up for you.
Yeah,
And
right,
I
for real.
truly, truly believe that. I mean, and our relationship, for me, love is an action word. You
right.
can't
Right.
say
Right.
you can't say you love me and not show that to me. So,
Right.
the love is obviously here.
Right.
Yeah.
Agreed.
And I
Agreed.
The
love
love for
that.
me.
It's the love for me. Right. Go get them love. Go get them love
It's on the
sweatshirts.
shirt. It's on the
Right,
shirt.
right.
It's
Come
on
down
the
the love
shirt.
lane. Come down the love lane.
Yeah. So, so guys, I
Love
guess
it.
I guess I want to know from the 5 episodes, and I know you guys have all kind of fluctuated in the episodes. Like, what do you think about like what's your favorite episode thus far? What has that been, Amber?
Reciprocity.
I was gonna say
I was gonna
reciprocity is
say the
my
first one,
favorite.
reciprocity was
Yeah.
mine,
That's.
honestly.
I was gonna say the one that I wasn't on.
Wait, you,
I'm sorry,
wait,
I was on it.
Yeah.
I was
Yeah.
on it too.
But
I was
I
on it
feel like
too.
it,
I wasn't on reciprocity, but that was my favorite one.
that was really my
That was the
favorite.
That
first.
Yeah,
That was the first one,
that
right?
was
Was
the
that the
first
yeah,
first
that
one?
was
one.
the
That
Yeah.
was
first
Yeah.
the
one.
Yeah.
first
Yeah.
one.
Yeah.
Why was that your favorite though?
You want me to
Just
answer?
hearing. Well. Oh, I'm
I
sorry.
mean,
Well,
anybody.
from
We
my
chilling.
point of view, I took it as two women that I know, but I felt like I thought I knew you, and when I got to listen to that, it was more the transparency from both of you guys to see your
Yes.
backgrounds and to see.
Oh,
So that was pretty dope for me personally.
Yeah, and
Yeah,
you have to be in a really vulnerable state to share your life live. I mean,
Yeah, yeah,
and I know that we do. I think Deb, you do it in a way, and Amber, you did it in a way on that particular podcast series where you were just open and honest, and that is a very delicate space to be
Yeah.
in.
I
Because people can take what you share and use it against you. There's a lot of
nah, that's fact.
evil out in the
yeah.
world, right? And so we
Mm,
have to be careful about how we share. And there's something in the Bible that says, "Don't cast your pearls to swine."
this time.
Right?
Yeah.
So we have to be very careful about what we're putting out in the atmosphere. But that transparency for me healed a lot of places in me with regard
Yeah.
to reciprocity and how I see it and how I
Mhm.
expect it from other people. So that is definitely my number one.
Oh,
Definitely my number one.
yeah.
I say
okay.
it was my favorite episode only because I actually listened to that episode over 10 times and I listened as an outsider, not an insider.
Mm.
Mm.
I really
That's
did.
nice.
I literally, as that, like, I could show y'all, like, I
She
literally
kept on.
listened.
She kept on
I
listening. I was
kept
like,
listening because I listened as an outsider. Number one, to something that Tamara said, I wanted to make sure, even though that was personal to me, while I honored my feelings, I didn't step on others' feelings. I didn't
Right.
expose. I didn't hurt or take shots, or because sometimes those type of areas make you take stabs at people because
Yeah.
it brings up areas in which you have been hurt, disappointed, upset. And I
mm-hmm.
was I was very careful to listen to make sure, okay, did I convey what my heart felt in a manner that is relatable, responsible, and just overall transparent. So that's why that's my favorite episode. I didn't really know what to expect. I
It
never
was one of our conversations. I
Yeah,
just
but
felt
me
like,
and that talk like that
yeah,
all the
all
time.
the
So it was
time, all the
almost like
time.
a fly on the wall of how Deb and I interact all the time. We are heart people. We talk about deep things that are in regards to our hearts. I know, like, even listening to myself, I saw my own growth in those areas. I appreciated all the times that Deb had gave me books and different scriptures and things like that to read to help me in those areas. So it was like it was dope to listen to, like as a listener, not just a person who was in it.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know if I had a favorite. So here's the thing. Reciprocity, of course, I edited it so much. I listened to it over and over and over and over. I thought it was a great conversation that, like you said, us kind of having a conversation and people being able to be a fly on the wall, right? I loved Who Raised You because
I
I
love
feel
it.
like two things. I feel like I learned something about me that
Mm.
I was like, man, coming into this, I didn't have the expectation to learn stuff, but I don't think I was like really expecting those things to be like, hey, it's still some other stuff you need to like look at. And I was like, wow. And I love
It
the
was a
male
lot of coin
perspective.
phrases in that episode.
It really was.
Thanks,
And
Q,
thanks to Q.
it made
Q.
Q
Cause
was dropping
nah, I'm
gems.
just chilling.
Q is
Nah,
dropping the
Q was
knowledge.
was
Q is
dropping
in.
dropping the
gems.
Nah.
knowledge.
I like the first episode most because of what y'all saying about me. It was a lot of knowledge being dropped, like jewel after
Mm.
jewel, just on
Right,
how even
right,
on
right.
how I interact with other people. I had to sit back and reflect and be like, am I fair? Like, am I being equal? Am I a
Wow.
taker? Do I give too much? Do I take
Thought
too much? When
provoking.
Right,
am I not
right,
doing enough?
right.
Yeah.
Yeah, it made me sit back and question it. That's all.
That was the overall thing that I got back for reciprocity. Like so many people reached out to me and was like, "Wow, this I will use for like an entrance to conversations I need to have with people."
Yeah.
Yes,
It
yes,
was very again thought provoking. I feel like they were like, "Wow, I never thought about it like that." Am
Yeah.
I being taken not advantage of, but giving so much that I'm not getting anything from a particular relationship? Since you were about to say something, I think
I
I
was
heard
gonna
you.
say, I think all the episodes made me want to self-reflect more
Yes.
Yeah.
yes,
about me
definitely.
and my positioning in relationships, what my expectations are, what I bring to the table, if what my, what my standards are, who do I fold for, all kinds of things.
All
So
kinds
Yes,
of things.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
definitely.
It made me question me more
Hmm.
in a good way. In a good
In a
way.
good way. And that I think that's what listeners have to look forward to even going forward. Like all of the topics and things that we're gonna talk about are really things that either I've already done and again, I'm still learning. So I do an episode and I'm like, man, I always feel like I leave with something. So
Mm.
I go in feeling like, okay, I've kind of researched this thing. It's touched my life in a certain place, and I feel like, nah, I
Think you got
haven't,
it.
but kind of like, okay, I kind of got the gist. And like sitting in a room with you guys at different points, I'm always like, man, I didn't think about that. I
Mhm.
think I said that in what was it, the last episode when Amber was like, every time rejection walks in the room, so does ego, and I'm like,
Yeah.
dang, is my ego in there?
Right.
That was a
That was
coin
the
phrase
Heavy.
right there.
My
that was
Yeah.
a
That was
dope
my
crazy.
episode.
enters the building.
For real.
That
Talk
was a
to.
dope episode.
We missed
For real.
we missed the fellas though. We missed the fellas for that episode because I really
Yes,
wanted
we
that
Yeah,
missed
res-
y'all.
I
That
think
one
I
was
think I
good.
commented on somebody's post. I think it was
You did,
Deb's
Aunt.
post.
You did. You
And
did.
I'm like, hey man, guys, man, we get turned down all the time. Like it's
Yeah.
But
we
I
don't
would
put too
love
much
That's
to
in
hear
life.
that though.
we
Like
don't put too much
the
into it, you
So
know?
it doesn't, do you think it doesn't affect you or you get so used to it and that
numb to
it
it.
hits you a little like, yeah, that you're almost numb to it?
Yeah.
Because,
I won't say none because rejection always
Always hurt.
depends on
Yeah.
where the rejection is coming from.
Mm.
okay.
So I mean, even as
But I
even
guess
we're not even talking about relationships or the opposite sex. Let
Mm.
even work. Men just get rejected more. Like you as a
Really?
man.
When you
yeah,
say work,
yeah.
Yes, like
Everything.
different jobs. Like because we don't care about stepping out there. I don't care if it's plumbing or if it's working in Lord and Taylor or you know what I
okay.
mean, a place where most men probably would or a store that sells makeup and stuff. There's men that's going to work there. There's men that's going to. We've been hearing no for so long. You know what I mean? And when I say for so
It
long,
doesn't be the
it's
same way.
been because of the little girl on the playground. You know,
Okay.
Mm.
so
I had to look good on the playground, like,
so
man,
since
I'm good.
so since then, it's like we take rejection. I won't say we it's not numb, but we take it in stride.
Mm.
We'll take it and keep on moving.
That's a good way of saying it. That's
Yeah, I
good.
wouldn't say
Really?
we're numb to it because it
Honestly.
still hurts sometimes, depending where. But we'll take it in stride.
Okay.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, and I think
It
women
still
deal
gets
with
you.
it.
Comes from.
Yeah,
You know who it comes
yeah,
from.
yeah, yeah.
So, Q, do you think, I guess, with men getting rejected more, right? Do you feel like
Okay.
it affects you in other things, like, or you just think you just keep on kind of going with it? Like, does it affect you in the next relationship? Do you think about that? I think we lost Q.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, he'll be back. He'll be back.
Well,
But
I can answer
Answer.
that.
you
I'm
can.
gonna
I
look
was
that
gonna
up.
say, pick right back
Um,
up.
I don't think for the next like I said, we take it in stride. So me personally, I'm not taking a rejection and bringing that negative energy with me to the next bout or whatever I have to get into.
Okay.
Mm.
So I kind of let it, we'll let it roll off. That's like if you get rejected at a job interview, what are you not going to go for the next job because you're already
Right.
thinking that they're going to reject you? No. Am I not going to talk to the next female because this one turned me down? No.
Right.
Word,
You
cause
keep
y'all
on.
know y'all like hit 5 up and see which
Oh,
one
that's
get
what I was
it.
going to say. And without being funny,
That's that
without being
DM
funny,
confidence.
men do not
Back
care.
in it.
Yo, there's men that know they have no business. No
Word.
business
Did
trying
you
to talk to
look
this
at
female.
All in my
Papa
DMs. No business.
They have no business. They don't care. They don't care. That's the one thing you have to love about the male, man. They're not gonna quit.
Hunters.
They're not
That's that
quitters.
hunter spirit.
Now the only thing I don't like is of course when the
He said
female
not
says
quitters.
no and all of that and then the guy keeps
Oh
going.
yes, yes, yes,
That's
yes,
different. But
yes.
yeah, men get rejected and walk off laughing, walk off smiling. If they're a real
Really?
man about themselves,
Okay.
without the
Wow.
curse outs and all of the extra stuff. But
Like yeah, she
yeah.
wasn't
Wow.
buying it.
Yeah.
But Ann, I think you're just talking about initial encounters. I'm talking about people that you have a vested interest in. And I don't think I mean you're the love lane guy. I can't imagine that you're
Right.
walking off unaffected, right?
No, now that hurts. Now, see, remember
Yeah,
that goes back to the
I
individual.
want to dig into that. That's what
Get him, sis.
No,
Oh no,
no,
that's
that
different.
part that stings. That's more than hurt.
That's
That
different.
stings because
That's
you've
different.
been rejected by somebody that honestly to get to that point, you've had some type of trust in or some type of relationship,
hmm
and to be rejected, that's I mean, a human being. That's not even male female.
Yeah,
That's another level of
yeah.
of hurt.
Paul Bell said confidence is key. He ain't lying.
He ain't lying.
He ain't,
He ain't
he ain't
lying.
He ain't
lying.
lying.
Come
He
He
through,
ain't
ain't
lying.
Paul.
lying.
Come through with the confidence.
You know why? That's one of my best friends. I told y'all about 2 episodes,
Yeah,
or 3 episodes ago.
Oh, that's your
Oh,
That,
Oh, is
friend.
it? What up,
that
Paul.
Paul?
that's why
Paul, we
because
know you.
he's
Paul,
like
we know
he's like
Okay,
you.
one of
we
the
know
ugliest. He's like
don't
one of the
say
ugliest
that.
guys walking the earth,
he
right?
is
That's
not.
not
So
nice.
so that's
He
my
is
man.
not.
No, that's my brother. No, he's a
That's
cool
how
guy.
y'all
You know
talk
I
to
love
each
him, right?
other. I was about to say,
You know
that's
why
how
I'm doing this? Because he doesn't have a microphone. If he had the microphone,
Ah,
he'd rip.
Aw.
Hey,
Everybody
Paul,
love
we love
Paul.
you. Don't let him talk to you like that.
Word.
You
He
know
gonna
what?
call me later.
One of my other episodes that I really really liked was having hard conversations. And I've had to have some since that episode. I felt like that
Oh
episode
wow.
was
Did you learn something?
Ooh.
I I really did, and I think as I do these episodes, I feel like I'm always tested in the areas
That's great.
Of
that I'm
course.
talking about
Yeah.
of
Cause
because
course
they
you are.
watching.
it's like, all right,
Right.
I think it's
They're like,
more for
let me
me. Like,
push this button.
Let me have a
I
hard combo. You want to have hard combos? Have one with me.
I don't think it's them testing me. That's not how I look at it. Y'all crazy. I more so think it's like, when I have to have hard conversations, don't avoid them. And, again, like what we were saying, like, hey, be able to be honest with those people and kind of share my heart with them without, my intention is never to injure anyone by any means, but also to be honest and truthful to myself. You know what I mean? And I don't want to ever kind of give people false, you know what I mean? Like sometimes we say, oh no, I'm gonna do that. And it's like, I know daggone well that's not even in my capacity to do. And I'm really getting to a place that I could be like, I understand the ask. I just don't know if I'm able to accommodate, and kind of work from there. So yeah, I've had a couple hard conversations, sister.
Yeah, that's the
A few,
strength.
a
It takes
few.
strength for that. Like
It's courage. It's
I feel like
courage.
I've had
It's
to
courage.
have those. Like before, I used to be an avoider, um, but now I'm getting comfortable in that. Like you know what I'm saying? Now
You're
don't
great at it, Em. I feel like you're good at.
Amber,
You
right.
want all you want
Amber,
all the
you
smoke.
are the queen of this, okay?
I really do.
I need you to be humble about this piece, honey. Okay, I really don't.
I'm
I really
not.
don't. You
I'm
are the
not.
queen of this.
I'm not. You know what? One okay, I'm really not. Because so many people think that I'm a tough cookie, right? I am, but I'm very soft in the middle,
You
right?
are
I
super soft, like
I'm really soft. Like I will cry on cue, like seriously. Um but I think I've gotten better because like I used to practice avoidance a lot. Like a lot. Like because overall you don't want to upset the people that you're going to be in contact with all the time, but
yeah,
I started changing my mind frame as far as I'm not hurting your feelings, I'm just honoring mine. My only responsibility is to be responsible in how I convey that to you, but I'm not responsible really for how you perceive it. And I feel like once I got out of that mind frame of, oh, they gonna take it like this, and I'm like prejudging what they're
yep,
going to see it as, rather than just saying, look,
Yeah.
it's not comfortable for me. Let's like the elephant is in the room. It is what it is. I'm not trying to hurt your feelings, but I have to be honest with you. I'm not happy. I'm not comfortable with you. I'm not, this doesn't make me feel good. And sometimes, and it was actually a meme up not too long ago that was saying that people are so used to indirectness and
Yes, I just
phoniness
saw that. I just saw
that
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 meme.
direct clear communication is
Yes.
like you're mean.
Yeah.
I don't get that. It's like
yeah,
you live in a facade that you have to say things nicely, or you almost have to bury what you feel to make the person feel better about offending you.
Mhm.
That's crazy to me. And
Right, right.
I had to start saying like, nah, I'm not tolerating that, and not in a mean way. Like I know I'm careful with my words. I don't curse people out when I'm disconnecting with them or having a hard
I
conversation
was
with them,
gonna say
but
it's how we talk to each other. It's
yes,
how
but
we
Right.
talk.
It's
I am
tonality, right?
extremely
Tonality is
direct.
important.
I'm
Right.
very
Mhm.
direct and I'm firm on what it is that I feel, because 9 times out of 10, I done sat here, thought about it, reflected it, practice conversations, all kinds of stuff already in my head. So I already kind of know what it is that I feel, and I will sit there, I will listen to your portion of it, and I will, give whatever reasoning to it that I have. But overall, when you cross the line too much, I have to have a tough conversation with you. That's
Yeah.
it.
I agree. I think the reason why I say you mastered it, I feel like there's a process that you go through when you're about to have a hard conversation, and I love it. I'm watching it because I'm taking some stuff from. I,
Taking notes. Who's
I,
taking notes?
I'm like, I gotta do this, Deb. I gotta
yeah,
do it.
but I think we all have that feeling, and so many times we push those feelings down
Yeah.
so far, and it's bothering you, and the other person is like,
Nah,
just
he
going about
good.
that whatever,
Right, right.
Right.
and has no idea that you're offended,
Mm-hmm.
that it's an issue, and
Mm-hmm.
it's going to just keep on repeating when it's that way. You know what I'm saying? So it's like to be able to say, hey, this doesn't make me feel good, or hey, the way you did that is, not correct, in the right manner. Because I feel like I used to do it, but in the manner that it was going to be done, sis.
Yes. Shout out to Paul. He said it's not what you say, it's how you say it.
I know that's
Right,
Absolutely.
right.
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 Right. It
Yeah.
I
is.
learned that in my
Yeah.
communications class in college. It's 7% words.
Right. The delivery, right? And we
Hmm.
talked
It's
about this when we were
tone.
talking about difficult
Yes.
conversations.
Right,
Delivery
right,
is so important. So
right.
I can say, you're really upsetting me. And I can say, that really upset me. Depending on how you say it,
You
you know,
pissing me off.
people will
I'm
take
still
it
upset.
differently.
Look, you are working my nerves.
Right, right.
Back then, before Deb wasn't saved, she'd be like, "You were pissing me off." Now she'd be like,
Yeah,
she just give you the eye, like, "You sure
What
you
if
want
what if you
yeah.
saved and still a little from ghetto.
That is not look. I'm saying I have those moments privately before I have a public conversation.
Mhm.
Like, what you say? Who you talking
Yeah.
to? Because those are the questions that I really ask. But I can't. Paul had another question that I want to go back to real quick. When we were talking about rejection, he said, "What does it feel like when ladies get rejected?" I'm just trying to find it so I make sure I
Oh,
don't.
Oh,
how do the
How
ladies feel when
do
they
the
are
ladies feel
rejected?
when they're
By
rejected?
men?
Heartbroken by anybody. Me. I'm
Um,
a softy inside. Heartbroken.
is this
I'm
all around, or just go back to the individual thing? Like,
he
do women? Because
he
I have a
said the
feeling that
ladies,
women just
man.
any
He
type of
said the
rejection,
ladies.
huh?
I
I'm
think
ask,
men.
I'm
I,
asking.
I think
yeah.
the male rejection for me is harder
That's I
than.
think I just feel like women in general. Anytime you guys hear no, it's like, oh my god, like you cannot accept a no. You can't accept no.
No,
I can accept the not yet.
I can accept no.
Not
I
right
think
now.
it's I think it's a repeat no.
Hatergrams.
I think it's repeat no's that
That
You
repeat,
usually.
that
know,
repeat.
yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
So
I don't think
what we
for
need
me
like
it's
every
not.
other one. Like we gotta do every. I said no last time. I gotta say yeah this time. Like is it like a percentage?
So it depends on what we're talking about. What we talking about, Aunt? Like, is it
It
like?
really does depend on what we're
It depends
talking
on what
about.
we're talking
I feel like
about.
I'm this
You
pad is
talking
so broad because I feel like
across the.
any no for y'all is like a deal breaker. So
No, I'm okay with no
That's not
if I understand the no
all right let's
situationally. You know what I mean? You got to give me an example. So if I understand the no, if it's like, hey, and I'll give you an example. If I was in a relationship with somebody and they were like, babe, this is not gonna work right now, right? I can take a
okay
no. I just probably would want to understand why he thinks no
why
because, of
I
course,
think, yeah, I don't know, Deb. I think that it depends because I feel like I'm the type of woman that doesn't ask for much, so I should hear.
right,
oh
Yeah,
no
right.
no come on
no, really,
every woman feels like
she
that
she don't
every
hear
ask
me
for
out. I
much.
don't
She
ask for
really
a
don't
whole
ask.
lot, so I don't think I should hear
Look
no.
at you say.
Hey Q, I need you on this one. Q is back. Thank God. Right on
Yeah,
time.
Maxa,
Yeah,
I
I
apologize,
don't
brother.
ask for it.
I had some
the one
technical
or two things that
Oh,
difficulties.
you ask for,
I'm over
I
here
just
sweating,
say
brother.
yes.
I
You
returned to I
like
don't know
hitting
what
the room
happened.
with
I
us.
was like, I left. We was talking about reciprocity. He come back. He's
Oh,
like, yo, I don't ask for much.
I'm
So
good.
I'm a husband,
I
so I
can
know what
answer
that sounds
something.
I'm
like.
Ali in the ropes over here, man. I'm over here in the corner, man.
I can answer something that Paul asked though. Paul said, like, how does it feel? So
Oh yeah, go ahead.
I'll share something that happened to me last year. Um Before it was like springish or whatever. This was like when Corona was out, but it was like outside dining and stuff like that. And this guy was like, oh, I had wrote something about, oh, like, I just want my husband to take me out a few nights a week for dinner or something like that. So he had hit me up, and I knew him prior or whatever, and he took an interest in me, and we were talking and cool and whatever. But I was asking him questions that were probably made him uncomfortable or whatever, and I feel
Amber.
that seriously,
Amber. I know.
I was asking him questions that probably made him feel like weird or
Too
whatever it
soon?
is.
Too soon type of
I
questions?
don't think it was too soon. No, it's that
Oh.
I'm not a beat around a busher. Like, you get what I'm saying? Like what we doing? Like, what's up? Like,
On the first date, Em.
no, it wasn't the but think
It was
about
the
it.
second
She
date.
had known him beforehand. She said,
I had known him beforehand. Like, you get
Okay.
what I'm saying? So, but I had asked him a question. I think that made him uncomfortable. I'm not gonna say what that question is because I don't want to out that person
Okay.
like that.
Okay.
But that question made him uncomfortable. We went out. We had lunch. I thought the lunch was dope. Yo,
"It
we was
was
doing.
dope."
It
It
was.
And
was
then you
right.
That's
asked the
because you ate.
question.
That's because you
Then you
ate
ask the question
for
instead.
free.
Nah. So then, like, we was due to go to dinner. Like 2 days later, he was like, "Yeah, I think we'd be better as friends, right?"
He ain't had no answer for your question.
Mm.
But honestly, I'm not mad because the
You gotta
question that
respect that. You gotta love that he
Yeah,
did
he
that.
I
was
love
actually,
that
yeah,
honest.
though. I love that. I
He
actually.
love
was
that.
honest. Like, and to be honest, like, if I'm real with it, I was like, okay, cool. Like, you get what I'm saying? Like, at first I was like, well, damn, like, what did I say? What did I do? But what I learned when it comes to rejection, even as in any realm of life, is that it's how you see yourself more than how someone else sees you. You
Yes,
get what I'm saying?
definitely,
Like,
definitely,
Yeah.
guess what? Everything I'm
definitely.
selling, everybody ain't buying, and I'm
Right.
cool with that.
Right.
Like, cause somebody may love my
Right.
transparency. Somebody may love that I ask the tough questions. Somebody may love that I'm being real with them. But I
Right.
don't have to adjust myself for your
Right.
You
liking.
To
You
them.
shouldn't.
feel what I'm
To
You
saying?
them.
shouldn't.
Yeah, you
You
should.
shouldn't.
That's what I
Not at
took
all.
from it. And I was glad because honestly, the question that I asked him had my eyebrow raised about him. That's why I was like, he was like,
Amber.
I'll tell y'all offline what happened.
I'm dying to know. I'm dying to know this question. I ain't gonna lie.
Yeah.
Don't do it, Am. Don't
And
Look
ask
at
y'all
her.
me.
gonna be
Don't
like,
don't
yo, that
Am,
was a
what
don't
clear
out
cut
him.
question.
No,
Don't out him.
I know
No,
the
nah, nah. You
question.
can't. You
I
can't.
would never. Mm-mm.
No.
But I ain't mad
No.
I asked. I know that.
Nah, that's fair.
Right.
But
Right.
No, that good. That good. You probably saved yourself some other dramas.
I
Yep.
Honestly,
did. I
that's
asking the
Yep.
good.
did.
question
That's
Yeah.
straightforward,
Definitely.
and he was
So
cool
Get
enough
some
to be real
heartache.
about
Give
it.
yourself
Like,
some heartache.
Yeah.
he started, to be honest though, he did get weird or whatever. Honestly, I don't like that he told me via text message, if I'm honest. But I said, you know what?
at least he
That's
told you.
he
He
told
wasn't
me.
ready. Remember,
He
we
yeah,
talked
wasn't
about that
I
on
was
ready.
that
about to
episode. He
say,
wasn't ready to have that
He
talk right
yeah, he
then and
wasn't.
there.
wasn't
And I
That
ready.
was
and I
the
He
said
wasn't ready.
and I
conversation he
did
wasn't
say
ready
that to him. I
for.
said, you could have kind of called me and said that. It's okay though. He started being weird. So any little like now it's like, okay, so I'm taking myself out of the liking you zone. So I'm not going to interact with you in
Mm,
that same manner. So now
mm.
it's kind of like you wanted to reject me and then I still chase you. So then it was like a
Yeah.
You still
weird
get the
thing.
Yeah.
playful
Yeah, it's
Nah.
like
circle.
right.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
then once I was
Can't
just
have
like, oh
both.
no, I'm good on you, right? He's like, he unfriended me on
Paul
social media.
is silly. Listen, Paul
Paul,
was
wa- Paul wants to know
I
the
was like, well, who was
question.
are
rejected? I
clearly
was,
best friends
Paul, I
because Paul
cannot
is
tell
in
you
the
that
chat
question,
and
sir.
Paul
I
wants to know
said to
what
be
He
the
gonna be
best.
asking
offline.
me. He gonna be asking me later. Yo, what was the question? I know
What was
she
the
told you.
question? What was the
It was
question?
a very valid question. That's all I can say.
Okay, we're gonna get
All
off
right.
that question though, Amber.
Yes. Next.
Right.
Yeah.
Next caller, please.
Yeah.
But but it didn't kill you. You went
No.
on to date and make it to
And
Niagara
I
Falls
actually
and
met
everything.
someone. I actually met someone shortly after that, and it was cool.
Okay.
Mm,
And that's why he gave you the answer he
Right.
gave you, so you can get there.
Yeah.
That
Right.
was it. That was the
Well, I
purpose.
think so. Here's the thing, though. I think with rejection, you have to get to a place with yourself that you even look at rejection like that. Because most people
yeah.
won't take it that way, where
Yeah.
they're like, "Oh, this is just reader." I think since you said in the episode, like, rejection is redirection.
Mm.
Yes.
But
Yes.
if you're not
Yes.
there
That
to
was a
really
good point.
see it, yeah, if you're not
That's
there to
nice.
see that rejection, it can tap into other things and it can turn into like rejection can become, and I said this, an infection. And it starts showing up in different areas, and you're like, what is this about? But if you've been rejected in so many different areas, until you're to a place that you're actually looking inwardly and saying, you know what, I'm good. That's just not for me. You know what I
Mm-hmm.
mean? But you have to get there. Everybody's not there.
Or you didn't let the rejection redirect you to the right place. Like
That's
it's sending you
Wow.
somewhere. It's sending you somewhere for a reason, and you're gonna keep getting
Right.
rejection after
I
rejection
love
until you
that.
go over there.
You gotta
Q,
come on,
That's
Q.
it.
I was just about
Huh?
to say, law of physics, two things can't
Yeah.
occupy the same space at the
Nope.
same time. And so
Nope.
that rejection is that so that that can get out of that way, out of the
So you can
way,
get somewhere
so
else.
that the
Exactly.
real thing that's supposed to be
Exactly.
there, that blessing, that whatever it is, can
Right.
occupy the space
All
rightfully
in you.
and assume the space that it's
Hmm.
supposed to take.
Come
Yep.
on,
Yep.
sis.
Right.
If
That's
that
fact.
other thing is in that space, there's no space for the real thing to get there.
That you're
I know
supposed to
that's
have. Yes. And that comes in many different forms. People,
it really
Character.
jobs,
does.
Character.
even
Everything.
even
Yes.
even simple as
Dating.
simple as what you're eating. Like you can keep getting sick from the same thing if you want to, or you can be redirected over here to what's better for you. It's real
Right.
simple. It's not complicated. It's just that
Right.
we take it too much on an emotional place. The
Right.
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 rejection, don't let it always become an emotional thing.
Correct.
Right.
Even sometimes the worst, even though the most emotional points usually are the ones that are the hardest to redirect us, and that's why we keep going through that same one over and over. It's because of the
Mm-hmm.
emotion in it. We don't want to let go of that emotional part of
Trying to
ourselves.
force it. Trying to force
Yeah,
things.
trying to force it because I want it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
question for you for what you just said. So, do you
Yeah.
think in what you just said, and I know we talked about this in one of the episodes, that, women, of course, naturally were more emotional, right? So, do you think that the reason that rejection is being processed differently is because when a woman gets rejected, it's more of an emotional space, and when a man gets rejected, it's less emotional, so it's more they're more in their head and more thinking. You know what I mean?
I think it all depends. Like we talked about, like who rejected you and what rejected you. Because some
Okay.
rejections aren't a big deal. Like
Cause
even men or women, it's not. It's like, yeah, I wanted that, but okay, I didn't get it. Now it's something different. If, like, I'll give you an example of a rejection that I've experienced literally 2 days ago. My daughter
Okay.
comes home from practice. I cooked. She goes right upstairs and ignores everything. The next day, her mother cooked. She ate everything. It's a simple
Mm.
rejection, but because of who it was, it bothered me more because it's my baby girl. And in my head, you eat my food all my
he
life. Why
wasn't
you
with
gonna
that
hurt daddy's
meatloaf,
feelings?
Dad.
She wasn't with what I
He
made.
wasn't
So, but I
feeling
had
that
to realize
meatloaf, partner.
I gotta take that. I can take that and it can redirect me to changing the course of the dishes that I choose to pick, or I could pout about it. I pouted for a while because yes, I did. I was hurt.
She gonna eat what I
You can
cook,
laugh
huh?
at
She
me
gonna
all
eat
you
what I
want.
cook.
Yeah,
Q,
I was hurt. Yeah,
question.
I ain't
Q,
gonna
wait.
lie. I took that.
Q,
Yes.
I have a very superficial question for you. What did
Go
you
ahead.
cook, brother? Brother, what did
Now,
you
hey,
cook?
hold,
He
Q.
made
Wait,
meatloaf.
before you
He
answer
I
that,
want to
made
help.
Q.
I didn't
I
make
want to help
meatloaf.
you.
I didn't make
Before you
meatloaf. I
answer
didn't
that,
make
Amber
meatloaf.
didn't tell us her question, so I don't think Q should have to say his question.
Nah,
My
it's
question
cool.
could be,
Her Amber's a little different than mine. I don't want her to put
Nah,
mine
you
on
know,
blast neither. I don't want that. But it was what did I make? I made it was something simple and quick that I made a egg fried rice. Um,
Oh,
okay.
oh, well, if she don't want to give
yeah,
it
and
to
she
us.
didn't want that. That was
Nah, these
crazy.
kids spoil
And
you,
then
man. Spoil you, man.
totally,
He
100%. I
ready to
always say my daughter's
preach.
spoiled,
okay. Wait,
and
wait.
it's
What
my
did
fault, and it's my
Q? What
fault.
did your
I'll be
wife cook?
100%.
What
What's
did
your
your
wife
wife
do?
Come
cook?
on, man. Come on. She made beef rib tips and some
Yeah.
she made collard greens and some a mixed vegetable tip thing. Like,
Oh,
it's
you
good.
know,
It's cool. It's cool. I do more vegetarian style dishes than the
Yeah,
missus,
yeah.
but
I,
Right.
it's
I,
Same
cool,
here.
you
I
know.
Same
get it.
here.
But
I get it.
my point with that is just saying that as we take the rejection differently. Like, now, mind you, I could take a different type of rejection with no problem, but because that was my daughter and the feelings I have for her,
Right.
it feels a different way. You get what I'm saying? Like, I don't think
Yeah.
I think that feels on how deep you're feeling about the moment. Because
Yeah.
sometimes people get rejected. Like, I've been rejected by pre-married Q. Got rejected by women, and some women bothered me, and some women, oh well, I was just playing anyway.
not this
Simple as
is
that
Men
sounds, the
are
truth.
nuts.
I didn't.
Men are
Yeah,
crazy.
I didn't really. Nah, like, I liked you, but like, I don't know you well enough to like you enough action to bother me. Now, mind you, the
Wow.
first
You're
girl that
not
rejected me, yeah,
valid.
that hurt
Like,
like
people be
hell.
seeking validation from people who ain't even valid. You ain't even valid, mom.
valid. But why you
Nah,
checking for somebody
that,
you're
that,
not
that
really
wasn't valid.
valid for?
I'll be completely honest. Back some of those times, no, not every time was one of those. But I mean, even like jobs, like, you can be rejected by your job, and some parts of it
Yeah.
kill you, and some parts be like, yo, I done put all this time and effort into
True.
this, and you guys didn't even,
True.
you know. Yes,
Yeah,
True.
that's
yeah.
crazy. Wow, that's interesting to know though,
Why?
because that leads me to another
Oh
question.
no,
How you said
that's that was
pre-married
that's
you?
also, mind you, that's 20-year-old Q. That's not now. Like,
Okay,
that I'm
Right.
just playing, like, that was. But like, let's be honest. When we used to be at, like, Philly Greek, you really was really interested in everyone that you talked to, or was it just that's a pretty thing over there, and I like looking at it type thing?
see,
I was
I'm a
asking you
little,
ladies the question.
I've been a love bug, so I feel
I'm
like
not talking about now.
I
I'm talking
was,
about then.
no, I've always been a love bug.
Yeah, me too. Me
I
too.
literally was not.
Oh, that's cool.
I've never
That's
been that
cool.
girl. No,
No, me neither, Q. Me neither. It's
I've
all
never
in
been that
or
girl.
none, nothing at
Oh,
all. All in or nothing. I can't do the halfway,
from
maybe,
at 20, at
Yes.
20, at
Listen,
20.
I thought I was gonna be married by
Wow.
there's
22
certain
or
women who come out,
25.
certain women who come out the womb knowing exactly what they want.
Yeah, I just
exactly
never.
what they want.
That,
That's
I don't
never been
know.
my
How do you
space.
know exactly what you want when you haven't experienced everything yet?
I think
Well,
that they,
because women are raised to be wives
We
and
raised differently. I was about to say, yeah,
Okay,
exactly. Like you,
I'll take that.
Q, think
I'll
about
take
this,
that.
right? Growing up, when the little girls was playing, what were we taught? We were taught me and such sitting in a
Yeah,
tree. KISS,
yeah, yeah,
in a tree.
yeah,
Then comes,
Woo!
yeah,
then comes with a
yeah.
baby.
I was I was playing football in the street back then, so yeah, I get what you're saying. It's two
And,
different worlds. Nah, it
and
really
little
is.
boys are taught to conquer. Like, let me conquer as much
Yeah,
as
like football in the
possible.
street. Like I'm
Exactly.
gonna win this game.
I'm
Yeah,
a
I get what you're
Right.
saying. I totally get it.
touchdown. You know
but
what I mean?
Totally get it.
I've definitely been in okay, so I definitely I can attest as a woman. I've been in spaces that I mean I wasn't in no position or in no mood to really take anybody seriously. So, I mean, you might be nice looking, but again, whatever you selling, I ain't buying in that moment because that's not where my mind frame is. Like, to be honest, like, even recently, I had made a decision like, yo, I just need to be focused. Like, I tried a relationship recently, wasn't for me. And I had just got back to it where I was just like, I'm just gonna focus and I just crushed my goals. So I mean, and nice guys have approached me like you could be handsome, you could be all of that, but uh, like you
Do
get
you,
what I'm saying.
do you think
I
it's
had to
because you're
be in
not
that
with the
space.
right person though? Is it the right person
I do think I
or
have
is
a
it the
get
space?
ready spirit. I do think I have a get ready spirit with with the right encounter. But I
Gotcha.
don't just go out. I don't care even if you was holla. It would take something very distinct to get my attention. So a lot of people could have felt rejected by me. Even like there's people I had to.
Nah, yeah, that
There's
happens regularly to guys.
yeah, like and
That's
I had
normal.
to
So what she just said too.
yeah,
That's a regular
and
one.
it wasn't personal. It had nothing to do with them.
No,
It had everything to do with where I am. Like even there are people that I have been connected to or attached with, and I'm in a different space right now. Like I really can't have casual relationships. I can't have casual connections because
I
I'm in
agree.
a very heavy period of my life that requires authenticity, that requires safeness, that requires like a level of trust that I'm entering in a high elevated area. I can't have uncertain people around me right now.
Yeah.
I can't.
yeah,
So
you got to
I agree.
protect yourself from the
I
dream
I
agree.
killer.
do. So
That's
like
what you got to
so it's
do.
not it ain't even sometimes the rejection ain't even about who you are. It's not about what it is that you're giving or what you're bringing. It's about the space in which other people are at. You can't extract something from me that I'm not willing to give you.
Mm.
No,
That's real. I
I
respect
agree
that.
with you. I definitely like I'm definitely in a place where I call them safe, where I need people that I feel safe with.
Yeah, I need safe
And
people right
Hmm.
I
now.
need safe people around me, especially right now. I'm in a place where dating, and I love relationship. Since I love relationship. I love marriage. I love I love love at the end of the day. And I know Aunt dropped off, but I love the concept and what I even believe love and marriage looks like.
Right.
However, in the place that I am, I haven't met anyone that even perks that interest to even like I'm so focused, like it's like tunnel vision of where I'm supposed to go and what I'm supposed to do, that I not that I feel like it would distract me, because I never think the right person distracts you. I think it's
Right.
always complementary
Mm-hmm.
to your purpose and complementary to where you're going. But I'm good. Like I'm finally at a place that it's like it has nothing to do with anybody else. It has nothing to do with any other variables of around me, so to speak, to what I mean? Like I'm just like I'm as happy as I ever been. And if that comes, great, or when it comes, great. But I'm enjoying life. I'm enjoying, this and like living purpose. I'm good.
And also to add to that, sometimes it's not even dating. Like even when I just said like I can't afford casual relationships, I'm not the girl right now to call and be like, "Yo, let's go to the bar and hang." Right now, not because that may not have been fun for me at a point in my life,
Yeah.
that's wasted time for me right now. So you can feel rejected, like, oh, she don't hang out like she used to. She don't want to talk like she used to. She don't do this
Yeah,
like she used to.
that's real.
But it's like, bro, like I'm not in that space right now. I have so much other stuff going on. To be honest, I'd rather spend my downtime. Y'all see where I'm at? Y'all see this headboard right here? My bed. I'm tired. I am tired. I have exerted Deb could tell you, Tamara, I have exerted so much energy in the past 2 weeks that I probably exerted in a year. Like in 2 weeks, in a year. So because of that, like I'm not in that space, and you could feel rejected by me where I'm just like, yeah, I don't really want to hang out. And it's not because I don't love you. It's not because I don't think you're cool. It's not because I don't think you're fun. It's just because I don't have the mental capacity for that right now.
Yeah.
I just want to, because this is a really critical point here, and I want to make sure that you know, we say this, that in the focusing, that you don't miss it, right? And I love the focus.
Wow.
Right, I love that you guys are diving in. I mean, this is just coming from someone who's married. I love my marriage. On April 23rd, I'll be married for 10 years to the love of my life, and I love
Yes!
my
Yes!
Applaud,
man.
Shout out to
applaud.
So here's the
Camille!
thing. My
Shout
whole
out
Congratulations.
to
life,
you.
I was so cute. I came out the womb ready, knew everything I wanted to do with my whole entire life. That's my life is set up that way. And I could have missed this I could have missed this man. And so I just want to just tell
You've
you
been
to
so
just
focused.
be focused. Yes, go after your dreams, but don't miss it, because you could
Yeah,
be so focused that you miss it, that
yeah.
you miss him,
I
that
mean,
you miss
well,
it,
I can
that you
say,
miss whatever is for you.
yes, I can say that I have someone special right now, and it's again, it had to be under the capacity of which I can manage. You get what I'm saying? So I know that I'm not against the person. I'm just, yo, you got to understand where I'm at right now. I don't like right now. I'm in a space that I can't have high maintenance relationships. They have to be very low maintenance, meaning that you understand time, you understand that it's you understand time, you understand that hey, I'm busy, but
So Amber,
I'm gonna make those attempts though when I have free time for you. You get
got
what
it.
I'm saying? But just respect my journey right now too. So
I get that.
if you're willing to weather that, I'm open, but you can't try to like derail me
Derail
still from what I'm doing.
what you're doing. Yeah.
So so the low maintenance relationship for you right now, Amber, means that also you have low expectations of what that looks like then, right?
I don't think the expectations are low. I don't think the expectations are
Wait,
low.
I'm sorry.
I can't hear
Okay.
you there.
Okay, that was
I don't think the expectations are low. I want to be
okay.
clear with that. When I say
Okay.
low maintenance, that means that when I say low maintenance, I mean, listen, I can't be the seeing you every day type of person. I can call you every day. I could FaceTime you like probably every day, right?
Mhm.
But I probably don't have time to dedicate hours and hours of quality time to you right in this season, right? However, that don't mean I ain't gonna see you 3 times a week, even if it's for an hour, even if it's for 2 hours. But that whole 6 hour, 8 hours spend, I don't have it. I don't have it to give. And I understand if somebody is the same way with me. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So
I can understand and respect that.
But it has nothing to do with expectations. My expectations are still clear: respect,
Okay.
loyalty, love. And it's not like do what you want to do, I do what I want to do. No, it's not about that. It's hey, listen, this is the season that I'm in. Can you navigate this season with me with respect to everything that I'm doing? And I do guarantee that I'm going to create time and space for you.
Yeah.
But it can't be like sometimes like yo, it's so weird. Like I feel like I go through what men go through. I find people are needy. They want my full divided attention. Hey, call me, talk to me every single day, all day. I'll be like, I can't. I don't have it. Like I can't.
since I want to say I want to say thank you first for that comment for a number of reasons. So it just brought me back to a conversation Amber and I had earlier, and it was in regards to business. We were um, discussing I'm getting feedback. Do you guys hear that? I'm not sure what it
Yeah, I'm
is.
getting it too.
If you're listening, turn your phone
Mine's down.
down. So I was I was talking to Amber in regards to business, and I was thanking her for being her. And I was like, I was emotional today because I was just thinking, we had the virtual pop up last night, which was amazing, right? And we're talking about so good. If you guys haven't, and this is the plug. I was going to say this is the
Shameless plug
plug
us.
for
Do
the,
it,
for
do it.
the virtual pop up that we're having on the 18th. But if you guys missed last night, I mean, something
So good.
amazing happened, right? And Am and I were talking about us both kind of dreaming together and dreaming in similar directions. But
Hmm.
I always tell her, and I told her at the last pop up that I almost missed her. And this makes me sad. I'm not going to cry on live, but I literally almost missed her. I was so focused on the way I wanted the exchange to look. I
Hmm.
was so focused on certain people. I was so focused on other things that I had somebody in 7 months. I lost my job for 7 months in 2019.
I remember
One
that.
of the hardest period. I've never not worked, y'all. Never not worked, right? And instead of like really pouring into this, I couldn't focus, right? And in that, I used to go to her store pretty much every other week or every week, probably. We had movie day that we would do.
Hmm.
And still, never, ever in my head was I like, you know what? Let me ask Em if she would even be a part of it. It helped me in any way, and vice versa, right?
Right.
And let's transition to 2021 and what we just did last night, right?
Yeah, crazy.
And us just being like, that was something, even when I came to Em, she was just like, I don't know, Dad. Like, she was always doing her virtual, I mean, her pop up or whatever. I was just like, technology, me and technology. I was like, there's so much other stuff. Like, I see it in a different way that it can transition other things and just broaden your scope, broaden your audience. Like, don't get stuck in a box. Like,
Yeah.
like this. Look at me. She was like this. I ain't really sure.
Okay.
Even in her not being sure, right? She still trusted me enough for last pop up for us to do our first virtual, right? Like with something that belongs to her that she had created out of her heart, out of her hard work, right? And then to put the virtual piece to it the first time, which was already amazing, and then the second time, which just and
I'll
there's
blow it up.
so
Blow it up.
there's so much more, y'all. Y'all have no idea, right? And I was saying to her, I almost missed you. Like I had literally her right under, like access to her. I had her ear. I had, you know what I'm saying? I had her presence, and I almost missed her. And I literally, right now, I am praying that I don't miss my husband because,
Guys, you ain't. You ain't. And he ain't gonna
because
miss you, honey.
I can't.
You ain't.
I
But
touch and agree, Amber. I'm touching and agreeing.
I
He is
Listen,
not
literally,
give me
going
give
to
me
miss
one
her, and
too.
she is not going to miss
give me
him.
one too.
I am touching and agreeing.
But I think about that so often because now I'm just like, when you said that, I was like, wow, I almost missed. We're doing amazing things. And I'm not just saying that. Like,
Right.
and there's
Yeah.
so much
No,
more.
it's true.
No,
There's so
for
much more vision. There's so much more than this Exchange Please podcast. There's so much more to be fit
Mm.
and be focused. There's so much more to love land. There's so much more. There's so much more to cues, personal training. Like there's so much more.
Right.
And
real.
I'm just like, I almost missed it.
Yeah.
Mm.
I almost missed it. And
Yeah.
I don't want to miss it.
You
I,
won't.
that
You
that's
won't.
that's literally my new prayer. So thank you for that, sis. Because
That was yeah.
I
Thank you.
don't want to get so focused in where I am and even how comfortable I am. Like I really don't miss relationship like I used to. Sis, I'm a love bug. Like I'm a love bug, y'all. Like it's
Yeah,
that.
and she stays on the love lane. That's her
I,
lane.
the love lane is my lane. Like
You stay in the lane.
I literally love,
Yeah.
and so much so that I don't. Sometimes it makes me go. I'm like, do I still do I still even want that? Because I don't even think about that anymore. That's not why I wake up like, what digital creation we doing? What software we pulling?
Right.
You
You
know,
got different passion.
my
Yeah.
focus is so different on that. What's the podcast? What
And
am
you're
I saying?
so anointed for this time. You were called to this time. You're so
Mm-hmm.
Right.
this is your time.
Yeah.
And I mean,
Right.
listen, I had a student. I went to work last week. No, this was a couple weeks ago when the second episode of the podcast you launched that, and a
Okay.
student came into my office and was like, "I really need to talk to you." I was like, "Why?" They're like, "Oh my gosh, I just heard the podcast." And I'm like, "Oh, did you like help me?"
It
Oh,
makes us happen.
That's crazy.
Like,
wow.
but she wanted to sit down and have a whole conversation with me in my office about the second episode of The Exchange. And I
Aw.
was like, wow. So even my students are
I love
tapping
that,
in.
sis.
So you are in India, you are in places that you haven't even set foot in. And
Wow.
the
That's so
blessing
dope.
of
Uh,
technology. So that thing that you were talking to Amber about connecting, and look, I see a similar vision, but we can expand it. Expand our tent. Let's stretch this thing out because it's about to get live.
Yeah.
Okay,
Right. Right.
we're global. We're going global. People all over the world in
We
Japan.
worldwide, baby. We worldwide.
We're worldwide, all over the world. They're
sis,
listening.
come on, sis.
They're listening.
I just, you know what? That is what this is supposed to be.
Yeah.
I really wanted a space, and this always makes me cry, which I'm not supposed to be crying on. This here's the emotional part, right? I'm on Facebook, but is that I wanted a space that I wish I had going through that whole transition and really doing that self reflection and really wanting to understand myself. Like I wanted a space for somebody else to be able to say, "Hey, don't go that way. Why don't you try
Yeah.
it this way?" And I really didn't have that. So I thank God, and I know that it's global. I know that this is part of my purpose in changing the world, and I'm so glad that y'all are a part of it. Like
It's a pleasure to be here.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you for including
That's
us
what's
and
up.
trusting us with this.
Right. Right.
Yeah, that's a key statement right there.
yeah, I trust all of y'all. Everybody, for the people who are listening and watching, every guest is pray. Like I pray about who is going to step in this place because it's not mine. It doesn't belong to me, and I understand that. And it's like who steps in. I want to make sure that it's right for who is listening, and it's a whole process that I go through. It's not just random picks of people. It's not. It's
Mm.
not, and it's never going to be. It is never going to be. Yeah, it's never going to
Nah.
be for fame or anything. It's for even if it's for the one. Like anytime I get a text, it's like or a comment, I'm just like, if I'm able to touch one, I've done my job. If you're able to say something that,
Right.
you know what I mean, and keep
Right.
your aunt, or
That's
you
true.
able to talk to a brother and be able to give them something that I can't provide, by all means. Like, I want people to leave with something every time they listen, every time they see. We about to go YouTube live. So every time y'all get to
Right.
see us, and I hope y'all keep on coming back with us and just sharing. And I know
Definitely
y'all
will.
do it every week, but yeah, I'm gonna be
More,
happy.
more importantly, sis, I'm gonna keep listening. More
Okay.
importantly, coming back,
Yes, that's the key
I'm gonna
to
keep
it.
listening.
That's the key
Right.
to it.
Right.
Keep listening.
I love y'all. I really, and I know sometimes people, Amber said this one thing, like when you say I love, but I love y'all. I
People.
appreciate y'all, and I just thank y'all. I know we coming up on an hour. We said like 35, 40 minutes, but we can never do
Hey, that
that.
was fast, man.
We're
That was
talkers.
fast.
Sorry.
We talkers.
Yeah.
So, but I thank everybody who joined, who will watch, and I just want y'all to keep on tuning in. If you found on the screen, you should follow the scrolls. It's how to follow us on IG. We're going to be on YouTube soon. We have a YouTube now if you want to subscribe. So it's the
Dope.
Exchange place. If you want to do that, we'll be uploading episodes, and there's so much more to come. There's
Oh,
so
dope.
many deep topics that are coming up. We're going to do in May. Um, we're going to do a mental health month. So we're
Mm,
going to talk about everything from suicide to depression to grief.
heavy.
Um, June, I'm honoring all my fellas. We got the fellas coming through. It'll probably be mostly men and just men in my life who affected me and dedicated to my grandfather and my dad. I told him before he left here that I promised his name will be in rooms that he'll never get to see. But
Let's go.
he gonna be
Let's go.
watching
That's
from
what's up.
heaven. 'Cause, yeah,
That's
he
what's
gonna be
up.
watching from
Let's go.
heaven. So
That's dope.
definitely June
That's
is
dope.
dedicated to that, and then we'll see what July and August bring because I know people will be on vacation,
That's
but
summertime. That's
we'll
summer
see.
heat.
That's summertime. We think we're gonna take a break and come back with season two.
Sounds
Me,
good. Sounds good.
working on
Be-
something for season
Before
two.
you end,
I know we gotta talk.
before you end, can I just give a shout out to Bravery Studio? I love your new
Yes,
space.
shout
Yeah.
out to
Yeah.
Oh
I love
yes,
your
Bravery.
those
new
guys are
space.
cool.
I love the people that you work
Those guys
with.
are
Yeah.
cool.
I just love the whole setup. Walking in there, it just felt like it
Right.
just felt like your space. So I just want to give a shout
I
out to
love
Bravery.
them. Yeah, Bravery. Shout out to Marvin. Shout out to Andrew. They have been amazing. I thank God too for Andrew because he's like Deb. I think you're gonna get that director seat. I said, oh, you see that? I'm like, definitely, but for
He
Good.
getting
like to take care of you.
produced and just he's teaching me and soon enough when God allows I'm gonna be able to go and work there. Yeah. And we
Nice.
love, most of all, I love all the people who have listened, who have
Yes.
shared, who have thought in our rivalries. It just, I mean, my cousin is watching in Japan. Like people watching
Wow.
everywhere.
That's what's
He
up.
had, he
Yeah,
had
different places
some of his
for
friends
real.
in India watching. I mean, I'm blown away. We've only been live and doing this for a month, so can't thank God enough. I can't thank the listeners enough. I just can't thank you enough. I'm so looking forward to what's coming. And I guess we gonna say we out of here, but I thank you and I hope you guys
Sounds
keep
great.
on tuning in. And y'all, I hope y'all keep on coming on the show.
All
Thank
day.
you.
Thank
You
you. Y'all
got it.
have a good night.
Anytime. Anytime.
Love y'all.
Good
Bye.
Good
night,
night.
y'all.
Good night.
Bye.
Good one, good people.
Peace.